welcome to ManaTech. Essentially, what they unveiled was a solar trailer that also has a Starlink dish attached to it. So the FCC just approved Starlink to now work on moving vehicles. But more importantly than that, Elon Musk has even talked about having solar wings on the Cybertruck way back when it was first unveiled. This was, in my opinion, one of the coolest unmentioned features. They were not sure if it was going to make it to production anyway, but he said that with a solar tonneau cover, they could get around 15 miles of range per day if you were in a sunny location, and with solar wings being able to expand, that could get you closer to 30 or 40 miles per day, assuming the truck is parked in a fairly sunny space. Tesla is currently not offering solar charging of any kind on its electric vehicles, even though this is set to become a feature for some EVs shortly. The manufacturer does build solar panels though, but before putting him on the top of one of its EVs, it put some of them on a small trailer and took them to Ideas Expo 2022 in Hanover, Germany without really explaining why it's there. This was the official Tesla stand at the tech fair, but no explanation was offered as to why the manufacturer had bought the solar trailer or what its planned use was. It's hard to imagine that it's envisioned to be towed behind an EV, possibly producing energy even while not extended and once the destination is reached. It could extend its solar array all the way and thus produce electricity either for charging up the EV or just for a small group of off-grid living or camping needs. This Tesla Germany project looks very compact and lightweight, although it frankly just looks like a bunch of solar panels that were added on top of an existing trailer. This is no battery stationary storage. It has 9 300-watt solar panels, and when fully deployed, it can generate up to 2.7 kilowatts or one-third of that amount when the side panels are folded in. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has mentioned building something like this in the past on the sidelines of the Cybertruck reveal back in 2019 when he announced that an extending solar array could be added to the truck's tonneau cover. It could also have fold-out panels that would add up to 40 miles of range per day. Back in April of 2019, Elon Musk replied to a question about a potential solar-powered tonneau cover for the Cybertruck with the following: "There will be an option to add solar power that generates 50 miles per day, possibly more. I'd love this to be self-powered. Adding fold-out solar wings would generate 30 to 40 miles per day. The average mile per day in the US is 30. Thankfully though, we have more than just this tweet from Elon Musk. In May of this year, Tesla did indeed file a patent application that describes a solar-powered tonneau cover that'll apparently be an option on the Cybertruck. Here's a quote from the Tesla patent application, wherein the truck bed cover comprises a plurality of solar electric cells that are electrically connected to the battery pack, and wherein the plurality of solar electric cells in the truck bed cover in a closed position is configured to recharge the battery pack. Being able to add around 15 miles or more of free range from the sun with your Tesla Cybertruck will be quite impressive, especially for such a large vehicle, and it could be really useful. For most people, 15 miles per day will not be enough to eliminate the need to charge the Cybertruck, but it should help at least reduce the amount of charging you do need to do. And if your Cybertruck were parked in a sunny location while you're away, say on vacation or something, it would eliminate the phantom drain that all EVs face and could actually let you come home to a full charge. When it comes to availability, Tesla recently pushed back the delivery date. Now let's talk about how the Starlink prototype solar range extender could be useful. As we all know, Tesla is always connected to the internet for satellite imagery, navigation, and music. There's a possibility that we could lose our internet connection in certain locations. It can be a bit unsettling. Tesla currently uses an LTE connection just like your smartphone, and there's no practical way to cover everywhere in the planet with an LTE signal. And that's the basis for why SpaceX is developing the Starlink internet network. When you have thousands of interconnected satellites in various orbital planes and low Earth orbit, you have the capability to cover anywhere. And that seems like a match made in heaven for Tesla and SpaceX. Tesla currently pays other cell providers for their bandwidth, so it would certainly be a win-win for them. They essentially bring that service in-house through SpaceX, and it provides them with increased capability as a differentiator for potential buyers. SpaceX is guaranteed users, and Tesla likely lowers their cost for connectivity. So we know that it would certainly be beneficial for Tesla to utilize Starlink for their connectivity, but is it even possible? Let's look at what we know so far about Starlink. Starlink satellites operate using the Ka and Ku frequency bands, which are frequencies between 12 GHz and 40 GHz. Now, an LTE connection uses vastly different frequencies, roughly between 700 and 2600 MHz. So there would be no way to use the LTE receiver built into current Teslas to receive or transmit signals with a Starlink satellite. And that's not even including the fact that the transmitter and receiver in the car are very likely to be too low power to overcome the distance between the satellite and the car. One interesting thing that I found while researching this topic, though, is that there is a speculation that Tesla has built in 5G capability for the newer production vehicles. 5G operates at around 28 to 39 GHz, which is actually within the same frequency bands as Starlink satellites. So hypothetically, if the car can interface with a 5G signal, it's also likely able to interface with a Starlink satellite. However, in the real world, this solar range extender trailer isn't going to do you too many favors because if you have to tow this, it's going to reduce your range by some degree, and this isn't that powerful of a system. I'm sure there may be certain use cases where it makes sense, but there's no discussion of how much it would cost, and this is not something that Tesla plans to sell anytime soon. Solar panels are not a new technology. In fact, the original solar panels were developed in the late 1800s, but until recently, solar-powered cars seemed more like a fantasy than a reality. However, what seemed like a fantasy before is now going to become a reality when Tesla unveils its prototype with a solar range extender in 2022. So let's dive into the details of these solar-powered EVs. Obviously, you can install solar panels on your home or your business and use that electricity to charge an electric vehicle. And while this does indeed allow you to drive an electric vehicle with a power harness from the sun, technically, solar power, having actual solar panels built into the vehicle, really takes this to a whole new level. The thought of solar panels adding range to your electric vehicle while it's parked without having to be plugged in or even while driving down the road on a sunny day is quite exciting. However, before I dive into the details of these EVs, I want to talk about the reasons why I believe solar-powered electric vehicles have not been common already. When you think about it, an EV and solar panels, why would somebody not put these two together before now? Besides the problem of having to engineer solar panels into an electric vehicle, there's some technical reasons why I believe solar panels are not common on electric vehicles right now. Even the best commercially available solar panels being sold today have an efficiency of under 23%. That means that only 23% of the energy emitted by the sun will be converted into electricity. Because of this, a larger surface area on the electric vehicle is needed to be able to house enough solar panels to add a meaningful amount of charge to that electric vehicle. And this leads me to the next technical issue that I want to talk about, and this is the issue of available surface area on an electric vehicle. The surface area of a vehicle that can house solar panels is not very large. Because of this, in order for the solar panels on an electric vehicle to provide more than a token amount of actual range, the electric vehicle needs to be extremely efficient, thus leading to the third technical issue, and that's the issue of EV efficiency. Even if the entire glass roof of a Tesla Model 3 were covered in solar panels, it would really only add a small amount of range in 8 hours of sunlight. This is partial due to the fact that although it's extremely efficient, even more efficiency is needed from an electric vehicle in order to add meaningful amounts of range. The timeline of the Cybertruck and now production is supposed to happen sometime in late 2022, with volume production of the Cybertruck beginning in 2023. You should still go to Tesla's website right now and reserve a Cybertruck. However, do be aware that there are an estimated 1 million plus reservations for the truck, so you'll have to wait quite a bit of time if you go and reserve one right now. So that's Tesla's new solar range extender. What do you think about this amazing technology?